I'm Fred Burton with Stratfor. We saw a security vulnerability surface late last week with the specifically branded team buses. It's been my experience in working these kinds of events in the past that you're going to want to move your athletes in a very low-key manner and not draw specific attention to them. I'm going to try to depict how a security umbrella would be placed around a venue. Let's have this for a hotel, and then you're going to have the route into the actual soccer stadium. So you're going to have a concentric rings of security around these venues. That hotel there in yellow is where the athletes are staying and the VIPs, and then you're going to have to secure that perimeter. You're going to have route security. You're going to have an arrival and departure point. This would be a critical area that you're going to want to secure. This is where you're going to have the athletes to come off the bus. So you're going to have the route or the chute secured. So let's use, for example, the USA bus. You're going to have a typical motorcade configuration of usually 3 vehicles that are going to move down this security route. So let's say this is the USA bus. You're going to have the athletes and an agent on that bus. You're going to have a follow car, which is security and police, and you're going to have a lead car, which is security and police. And in essence, they move in sync as one car. You're going to have perhaps an additional security vehicle here that could actually be a CAT vehicle with a counter-assault team that could take on any kind of attack on the bus along the motorcade route. You're perhaps going to have counter-surveillance assets. These would be undercover agents assigned to keep an eye out for suspicious kind of behavior along the route. And then as the bus queues up here, you're going to have a heavy interest in securing the perimeter of those branded buses now. Before you actually secure this perimeter, you're going to have improvised explosive detection teams come through, EOD dogs, bomb dogs, to sniff for explosives. You're going to want to make sure, if this is a newly constructed facility, that someone hasn't planted an IED months ahead of time in the actual concrete or into the perimeter. When you're looking at a venue site like this, in essence, you have small cities that have been thrown up, and you have concerns from a protective intelligence perspective for the workers. Have you conducted background checks and criminal history on everybody that you're allowed on the property? Have you adequately thought about the fact that someone could use that as a ruse for an operation to carry out an attack, whether it be a workman, a security guard, a catering staff? You have to also think about these other outrider venue sites that may be outside of your security protection, but you may have a lot of foreign tourists at a couple hotels outside of your perimeter, which is exactly what happened to us at Centennial Park with the bombing in Atlanta. You had a very good security perimeter for the actual venue site and for the spectators, but soft target hotels outside of your security bubble, as you can see here, are usually the most vulnerable. There's going to be a crisis command post on site. You've got to take into account everything from a hostage rescue scenario, a suspicious package that is left at the scene. When you get to countries that haven't had a lot of experience in the special event management, there's a steep learning curve. So you have to think about not only game boarding out everything to help the host country, such as logistic security, route security. There's also a training variable there that you have to think about, meaning what is the quality of your police officer that's assigned to watch that route, and whether or not they're vigilant enough. Do they have the adequate training to know what to look for? Do they know how to identify pre-operational surveillance? Do you have any technology that can help you, for example, with surveillance cameras that cover all these venues that can be fed back into your command post? The eyes of the world are going to be focused on the venue site, and that's all that the average person is going to see on national TV without an understanding of the logistic security that's underway here that unfolds in putting together one of these global events.